Okay, we're going to continue on. I'm going to finish reading this, the first page of my book, God's Truth. Basically, God created clean food to be received. 1 Timothy 4:3. And he created scavengers to clean up the earth, to prevent disease. Timothy 4:3 tells you to eat the food God made to be received. God made clean food to be received and eaten, and he made hogs, chickens, catfish, shellfish, all these different animals, unclean food. He made those as scavengers to clean up the earth. A hog does not have sweat glands, so they sweat their poison into the fat, and that's why bacon is called the vein stopper. Tobacco cigarettes, the other vein stopper, and fried chicken with the skin left on it. If you go eat fried chicken, just pull the skin off of it. The meat is still got lectin in it, but the meat's not that bad for you. It's the skin on the chicken that's got all the poison in it, and it's the fat of the hog. So if you go eat pork, get rid of the fat. And if you go eat catfish are like vacuum cleaners. They suck the bottom of the Swanee River and the ocean. Saltwater, freshwater catfish. They're bottom cleaners. Now, out there in Mississippi, they got these catfish ponds they raise catfish in, and they take floating catfish food and they throw it out on top of the surface, and the catfish come up to the top and eat the catfish food, full of protein. And so if I was going to eat catfish, and I love to eat catfish, that's some good tasting fish, I would get some of those catfish from those Mississippi farmers. I would not eat catfish out of the river. And if you do, maybe once a month, because they're full of heavy metals, they're full of mercury, they're full of lead, they're full of gold, they're full of silver. All the heavy metals is on the bottom of the river, and that's what they suck up, and that's what the meat's full of. So you be careful with that. If you're going to eat foods, eating unclean food is not a sin against your soul. It's a sin against your flesh body. It takes years off your life. Now, hogs do not have sweat glands, so they sweat their poison into the fat mostly. Bacon is called the vein stopper, full of plaque. Like tobacco, chicken are scavengers. Catfish clean the bottom and are not to be received like shellfish clean the ocean. In 1932, the electron microscope was invented. A PhD doctor at Stanford University took each food group and each blood type to see how they reacted. Later on, his son took over the work and wrote the book about eating according to your blood type. When you eat scavengers, you do not sin against your soul. You sin against your flesh body, reducing your number of years to serve God. You will not be able to lead your family in old age, but you will be a burden on your family, an expensive burden. Now, 2,000 years ago, Mary was conceived by the Holy Spirit. Mary was a Jew with the B blood. Jesus had the AB blood type, the tragic ending blood type. So AB blood is 2,000 years old. JFK had the AB blood, and so did Marilyn Monroe. God created the king and the queens of the ethnic people with the AB blood. It's called royal blood. Like the Queen of England, King of England, the Tsar of Russia had AB blood. All the kings and queens, old King Louis in France had the AB blood. All these kings and queens of the ethnic people had God anointed with the AB blood type. And it's called royal blood. The AB blood type is very rare here in the United States, less than 1%. People with AB blood and O blood cannot deal with calcium. North Florida is the kidney stone capital of the world with all the calcium in the groundwater. So you got to use water filters or drink bottled water. Making a good filter a must. A fisherman cannot digest red meat. People over there in India, a god or somebody told them over in India not to eat red meat. People of Japan, China, and then the Indians came across a land bridge 8,000 years ago. This is called a Paleo-Indian arrowhead here. A point. Paleo-Indian. Adak, Alaska. If you go to Adak, take some music with you. They listen to dog sled races and they only got one radio station. Or at least a long time ago, that's the way it was. Fishermen cannot digest red meat, and the people of India do not eat beef because they drink the milk and burn the cow chips. If you have, now the people with the A blood can deal with milk, and they can drink all the milk they want to, and the people with the B blood, God gave us the milk and the honey, so we can drink milk. If you have the A blood type, you get diabetes, heart disease, and cancer, and others when you try to eat red meat. The American Indians came across the land bridge 8,000 years ago with the A blood and found deer and buffalo, both red meat. The people of Mexico and South and Central America had the A blood unless they mixed with the Europeans or the Jews. So the Spanish came to Mexico, and a few of the people down there in Mexico mixed with the Spanish, and the Spanish had the O blood type, and the Mexican people have the A blood type. One kid will have the A blood, and one will have the O blood. So you got a fish eater, and you got a red meat and potato eater in the same household. So you got to either feed them fish or you can't feed the people with the A blood with the red meat. Otherwise, they just can't digest it. People with A blood can't digest red meat. Okay, we're going to go to Genesis here. This is Genesis 1:1. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. The earth was without form and void, and darkness was on the face of the deep. And the Spirit of God was hovering over the face of the waters. And then God said, "Let there be light." And there was light. And God saw the light, that it was good. And God divided the light from the darkness. And God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. So the evening and the morning were the first day. Then God said, "Let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters." Thus God made the firmament, and divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament, and it was so. See, when God came back to earth 14,000 years ago, we had the ocean. It just raised, whenever God shook the earth and that firmament came down, it just raised the ocean levels 500-600 feet. They're finding cities 500-600 feet. They're next to India, off of Japan, and they're finding places all over the world where the ocean levels was way lot lower when the firmament was up there. And so it was so. And God called the firmament heaven. So the evening and the morning were the second day. Then God said, "Let the waters under the heavens be gathered together into one place, and let the dry land appear." And it was so. And God called the dry land earth, and the gathering together of the waters he called the seas. And God saw that it was good. And God said, "Let the earth bring forth grass, the herb that yields seed, and the fruit tree that yields fruit according to its kind, whose seed is in itself on the earth." And so it was so. And the earth brought forth grass, the herb that yields seed according to its kind, and the tree that yields fruit, whose seed is in itself according to its kind. And God saw that it was good. So the evening and the morning were the third day. Then God said, "Let there be lights in the firmament of the heavens to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and seasons, and for days and for years. And let them be for the lights in the firmament of the heavens to give light on the earth." And it was so. Then God made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night. He made the stars also. God set them in the firmament of the heavens to give light on the earth, and to rule over the day and over the night, and to divide the light from the darkness. And God saw that it was good. So the evening and the morning were the fourth day. Then God said, "Let the waters around with an abundance of living creatures, and let birds fly above the earth.